This is James Lupton for Round 8 Boxing. Delighted to join with Woody and Crolla. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate, you?
Very good, so mate. Let's go back to the beginning a little bit. Tell me your earliest boxing memory.
Um, Earliest boxing memory would have been going to the amateur gym with Anthony. I think it was about 8 or 9. I remember going in just being hammered. Windows mirrors steamed up. Um, yeah, nothing fancy, nothing flashed. Yeah, it's the sweaty amateur gym. That was my first boxing memory.
Was you hooked sort of straight away to boxing? Or was it just purely something that your brother done almost and you sort of,
Uh, at that time, probably something just my brother done. And as I got a bit older, maybe 10, I was hooked. I had my first fight as early as I could have it. That was the first time, so yeah, I was hooked since then. But when I was that age now, I probably was every kid played football, boxed, and then yeah, probably fell in love with it about age 11.
what was that like your first fight?
I was against a lad called James Bagley, I think it was. I think it's called James Bagley in Moston. Won. Yeah, I want to give him a count on that. It's good. I remember it. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I remember being nervous in school all day, and then yeah, I remember it quite well actually.
So nervous all day at school before the fight. What about the day after when you went back into school? Was you buzzing, telling
That's,
everyone that you'd won?
yeah, I'd say ask anyone who boxes. It's not better when you went in school the day after a win. And our most shows on a Friday. For some reason, our club shows on a Thursday night. So I went in school on the Friday. I was buzzing.
Do you think it obviously made it better winning your first fight?
Yeah, I think confidence is massive. I think I won my first 8. I think I won my first 8. To be fair, confidence is massive, especially at that age. But no, yeah, it is not better. I used to hate losing. Every time I got to be, I'd cry. I'm a bad loser, but so loser.
What was it like the first time you lost?
Oh, I remember I thought the world ended. I was crying for ages. For ages, it was in a national final, and yeah, yeah, it's bad.
What was it like? Obviously, your brother Anthony, world champion boxer, fought the best out there. What sort of advice and guidance did he give you when you was in your amateur days?
Just to always to enjoy it, just to always enjoy it. Like, and that's the advice I'd give to anyone coming up now. If you don't enjoy it, there's no point in doing it. Go and do something you enjoy. Go and do something that's good. Because if you don't enjoy boxing, then it's not a good job to be in. Like, I wouldn't advise any anyone to be a boxer. I'd never advise it. It's just not a good job. Like, hopefully one day when I have kids, there's not a chance to be boxing.
You know what into box now?
Nah, it's not a good job, man. It's just like when you like, it's just getting punched in the head, aren't you, for a living? Like, it's good, short, short career. Hopefully, you can make a lot. Well, not enough, not a lot do make enough to retire, but it's not. Yeah, it's not a good job. I'd rather a degree or something or a good job that way. But nah, yeah, it's all right when you're doing it, but on the long term, well, it's not a good one.
It's interesting you say that because obviously a lot of fighters who've been in the game, they will say the same thing and say, no, I don't want to kiss the box because I've seen the politics of it, I've seen what happens on behind the scenes, etc. And like I say, that the health implications as well, it can be damaging. But obviously you're young enough to get another career now. Why are you boxing?
It's the only thing I'm good at. It's what I love. I love doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot different than the fact of like, do you know what? I've got all my grades at school as well. Like I'm pretty academic as well, but it's the only thing I love doing. I've had the normal job. I've worked, didn't like it, and I'm back here now. I'm flying, and yeah, but that'd be it as to why. Hopefully, I could go back into it. I don't. Well, who knows if I make enough money, I won't have to. But if I could, if I won't, I'd go into another job after it. It won't phase me. But I believe I'll make it through boxing.
Talked about dedicating yourself to being a professional boxer. What's that
Yes,
like? How hard is it?
I had a big break from say 16 to 21 when I was just disappeared from the sport. Actually, that was dedication issues. That was, like I said, then I was a young amateur. I used to beat everyone just not being better than them. And as I got a bit older, kids got stronger, fitter, the rounds got longer. So I got found out a bit, and I was getting no luck being picked for England and stuff like that. And I stopped, and then I learned lessons that you've got to be dedicated, and then it's the most important thing. Not just your training, your diet. The training's the easy bit, it's the fun bit, it's the good bit, sparring, pads. I love it. The dieting, the dedication, the discipline, that's the hard part. And that's the bit you've got to nail. That'd be my advice. Like I said, that's the bit you've got to nail your diet.
For you, you mentioned you took a period of time away from the sport, and you obviously come back to it. You fly in, you're loving it again. What was it that flipped the switch for you to come back and be dedicated to stick to your diets to make sure you're training properly?
Um, it was just I knew that's what I had to do to succeed, and then obviously I seen the benefits of me actually doing that. But like now I train, I give 110% in every session. My diet's bang on. I live a good life. I'm always ready within 3 weeks' notice. I'll be ready. I'm fit enough. My weight's always good enough. Like it's just that's the biggest part of the game. A lot of people balloon up in between fights, and nah, it's the biggest part. That's not many realise that's the biggest part.
Obviously, you mentioned the physical condition. You're pretty much always ready. Talk to me about boxing and what it does for you mentally.
Oh, it does loads, man. Yeah, it does. If I'm having a shit day, I go to the gym. It clears my head. If I'm, like say, stressed, angry, anything it clears your head. You always feel better after any exercise. It's not just boxing. Any exercise obviously releases the good endorphins, but it does loads. Feel like it keeps you the straight and narrow. Like if I've not trained, I'm just riddled of energy or just riddled of ADHD, moving and that. But it does boxing is a massive thing. For, like say, if I didn't box, I'd certainly do some form of physical activity. 100%. Exercise is key, man. Exercise is key for a healthy mind.
Talk to me about being a professional boxer. Obviously, it's something that you wouldn't want your kids to do. It's something that you took a break from, but now you have dedicated yourself. You put your all to it. What do we not see behind the scenes? You mentioned obviously diets, dedication, but what do the fans or the public eye not see about being a pro boxer?
Yeah, I think quite a lot of people just think you turn up and just have a fight on the night, or like you just miraculously made that weight, or like they say, the people don't see the hard Mondays, the boxing in the morning, um, sprints in the afternoon, the yoga at the night. That you're restricted on the food you want. You can't. Do you know what? You want a fizzy drink? You can't have one. You can't have one. You've got what? You got some water. That's what you've got. You're knackered, or after that hard day, you wake up the Tuesday. They could easily say we're working 8 hour jobs. Yeah, you are, but the strain is on the body, like you're aching. You've got weights now. Go and do your weights. Now you've got running again at the night. Ah, your body's knackered. Then Wednesday's come. You've got a 3 session day again. So now you're sparring again. You probably got your sprints, and now swimming or something at the night. Do you know what I mean? They don't just the physical thing. Like say the mental part of it, because you're starting the session in hindsight fucked. Do you know what I mean? You're starting knackered. You're not starting your session fresh. You're starting knackered, and then you're waiting for your day off. You're waiting for your day off. Mine's Sunday. Then it comes, and boom, you've got an hard 6 hard days again.
Does it piss you off when people do sort of overlook the hard work you do? You know, for example, oh, they're getting paid all this money to do, say if it's a 12 round of 36 minutes on a Saturday night, that's all they do. They don't look at the 8, 10, 12 weeks of hard work and graft that you do.
Yeah, don't look at like you say how many hours you train in a week, the discipline, like you say, the dieting, the things you miss out on. The You miss out on so many things. Like you say, it's a very lonely sport as well because you're on your own. Do you know what I mean? You can't go and do my sprints for me. You can't go and spar for me. You can't diet for me. It's a very lonely sport. A very lonely sport. That's why I think it's good to switch off from boxing, which I think I'm pretty good at. Like I won't think of boxing when I leave that boxing gym until I walk back in it. And I think that's a big bonus that I've got.
You mentioned this about sort of sacrifices you make. What's the biggest sacrifice you've had to make so far?
No, it's just miss out on a lot of things in life. You just miss out on, like say, friends' birthdays, loved ones' birthdays, or just certain stuff like that. You miss out on them. There's, there's no you can't go on that dad's trip or the holiday. You can't go on holiday with someone. It's there. You're training. Do you know what I mean? You can't miss the day's training. It's more things you miss out on that scale. And people might say that's not a bad thing, but when you're in them shoes, it feels like a big thing.
I just want to touch on your brother a little bit, Anthony. Obviously, you mentioned earlier he's a world champion, fought the best. What was it like for you growing up having a brother who was a world champion boxer?
Oh no, yeah, it was great. It was everything. It was massive. I used to just look up to him when he was fighting for the world title against like the big names and that. It was mad, and I gained so much experience for my career as well, even without knowing. Like now, I'm not phased by any of these arenas of fighting and that. I love it. It's about me as well. It's even better, but I don't. I think the amount of lessons I learned, like I say, without knowing, then they're just invaluable.
And obviously, now Anthony's going to coach and he's your coach.
Yep.
About that relationship, obviously, your brothers, but you're also fighter trainer. I'm sure you two bicker like all siblings do, but talk to me about that, the fighting role.
No, yeah, bicker like mad. Bicker like mad. But like I say, I actually forgot about after the gym. But I probably bicker with him more than someone else in the gym would, just because, like I say, he's my brother, so I know I speak to him at the gym, then speak to him after it, see him at mum and dad's, see him there. Do you know what I mean? I don't really escape from that. So I've obviously clashed him a lot more than everyone else. But no, it's good, like you say, I trust him with everything. Boxing wise, he'd been there, he's done that. So when he's asking me to go to the well when I'm tired, do this, do that, he's done it. So it just makes it a little bit easier to listen.
As well, I suppose I mentioned earlier about, sort of boxing politics, and you mentioned how it's a lonely sport. How important is it to have somebody by your side who you can trust 100% and be loyal to, and who's going to be loyal back to you as well?
No, yeah, of course it is. Boxing, it's a short career. It's like say before, you're a piece of meat. You're a piece of meat with an expiry date. Once you expire, you're no good to no one. Do you know what I mean? So you need to make the most and take care of yourself the most. And it's a short career and it's an hard one.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your pro career so far. 706 stoppages, all early nights, those six stoppages. I think only
Yeah.
one onto the second round. Um, talk to me about your obviously knockout streak. Is it obviously tough to match you? Is it a double-edged sword? Because for you, do you want to get the rounds in as well, or are you happy with no overtime, nice early nights?
Now, like I say, like so, I'm building my engine in the camps. Like the training's getting longer, the days are getting longer, the sets are getting longer. Like I'm building my engine that way. The rounds, I'm sparring more rounds, longer rounds. I'm in for longer. I'm building my engine. I don't worry about my engine. I'm fit. Like I say, I give everything in training. I'm a fit lad. My engine's there. Fight night's just a short part where you get to show it. I'd love to people to see a lot more of me because I can do a lot more than what I've shown. Like you say, weekend I was just put the feelers out, jabbed him. Like you say, I wasn't even looking for it. I just literally just chopped down with a left hook on his head and then I hurt him and took him out. But yeah, if you're giving me an early night first round stoppage, I'm taking it every time.
I mean, it does make you exciting to watch as well, and especially with sort of the casual market and the viewers, they want to see knockouts. They come to boxing to see stoppages. So it certainly makes you a very marketable fighter, especially for Eddie and Matchroom.
No, yeah, of course it does. It's like weekend. That was a top stoppage. That he'd never been stopped. Several people say, "Oh, he's a bin man." He's no mugging. Do you know what I mean? He can like I don't them comments don't bother me because I know what's what. But he's capable. Him like just look at the amateurs he's boxed. He's boxed amateurs with over 90 fights internationally, not just 90 amateur fights, 90 fights internationally. Moldovan amateurs who's in U6 camp, Polish amateurs. There's a big statement just because of his record. One, like I put it in a way of I've boxed a lad who's two. Two and 0 when I boxed him. That kid weekend would have liked the floor. What I'll do was 2-0 just because he's 5-7. It's very different. He's had 14 hard fights. Do you know what I mean? That's why it is. But I was the first one to stop him, man. It's a big statement that weekend.
Absolutely. Exciting division you're part of as well. You've got the likes of
Yeah.
Dan Howard, Janae Bostan, Ben Fowl, Dante Dixon. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think Janae's name was mentioned after your last fight as well. Is that a fight you got your eye on potentially down the line?
I'm not really like say they're on their journey. I'm on mine. Like when I arrive at the English title, whoever's got it, it's on. When I arrive there, that's who it is. I don't care. I don't care. I know a few of the names you just mentioned. They're all sound lads. Like it's not personal. When I get to the English title, if you've got it, I want it, and that'll be it. And it's just business. Do you know what I mean? I'm not bothered which one of them I fight. But when I get to the English title, the British title, if you got the belt, then yeah, I'll happily fight you.
Have there been any discussions at all within camp, sort of on a timeline when you're looking at title fights, whether it be English or area? Is it something, say you're targeting the next 12 months, 18 months, for example?
Yeah, I'd say this time next year, I'll be looking at titles. This time next year, I'm looking at titles. A few eight rounders. See what in March, a few six, definitely a few eight rounders this year. A few eight rounders this year. Like I say, a few camps like that, and then yeah, into titles next year, definitely.
Would you like to look for an area title, go the full domestic route?
And I don't mind though. This time next year, if you sat there with an English title shot, I'd be daft to say now I'll go the one before it. If by the time I arrive at the 10 rounds, I've got a feeling it's no disrespect to the area title. If I've won three, four more fights, I've knocked them all out, I believe that I'd possibly be above, and I'd never ever do that. I never think that I'd happily fight for the, but this time in three or four fights, I believe I'd be at definitely be at English title level. So I'd be silly not to take the fight for that.
No, absolutely. Any interesting sparring stories you can tell us?
Um, nah, not really. Not never. No, never want to spar and tell anyway. But nah, no, but no. That actually isn't. No, there's no interesting ones. I've had good rounds with good kids. Um, Hardest I've probably been hit off people like Lewis Crocker. It's hard. Lewis Crocker. It's very hard. Uh, yeah, that's probably the thing I'd say.
Who's the person you've learnt the most from when sparring, or someone who's given you some key advice that you've taken away from that?
Learned the most from. Hmm. When we went over to America for Laurie Davis, for sparring some Olympian there. I didn't learn out from him, just the confidence I gained from mixing at that level. And then I come on again because I thought, yeah, I can do that. I'm more than capable. Do you know what I mean? So I gained most from sparring. Darrell Varsain is called. Went to the Olympics for here. I think he signed to top rank. I think he's like 15 and 14 knockouts. He's good, but no, I had good rounds there. And the confidence I gained from that was amazing.
Staying active, back out again very soon in
Yeah,
Altrincham, at Brown's debut undercard. First, you mentioned earlier about you've done work, you've done jobs. You worked with Pat, didn't you? Was it roofs or scaffolding stuff like that? Is that right?
yeah. Scaffolding. Yeah, me and Pat used to scaffold together. It's funny. I remember being sat in the cabin saying to him, "Oh, do you know what, bro? I remember saving up money so I quit. I didn't work for a year. Quit. I skimped for a year, but I was in the gym because I had that big time out. I was just neat, like just ironing out the mistakes I'd picked up. And Pat was going in the ABAs, and then here we are now. He's been to the Olympics. I'm now signed to Matchroom. I'm probably I thought of one of the best knockout streaks in UK prospects at the minute. And no, yeah, it's going well.
Into a mad world where you've both working on site scaffolding and all of a sudden you're sharing a card.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's mad. It's mad. It's crazy. But it's good. It's a really good story. That I think hopefully they'll do some filming before it about that. It's a good one.
Definitely. Perfect. William, thank you very much for your time. Always a pleasure speaking to you. And hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.